Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Pixel and welcome to the Sapphire Tech YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to be taking a very quick look at some gameplay and the performance of Call of Duty Vanguard single player campaign running maxed out at a 1440p resolution on our Sapphire Nitro Plus RX 6800 XT graphics card alongside the AMD Ryzen 7 5800X CPU. All the gameplay that you're about to see has been recorded using AMD Relive, and the performance overlay is a custom skin for River Statistics server. With all that said though, let's get right to it. Visually, Call of Duty Vanguard is just about on par with the last couple of entries in the franchise, being Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Now, the reason that I'm pointing this out is because I think it's generally accepted that each new entry in a franchise, barring any stylistic changes, should be the most visually impressive, and yet, honestly, if I did not already know the answer, I would probably find it very difficult to call which of the three most recent entries is the best looking. That's not to say that Vanguard isn't a great looking game though, because it is. It's just not a very obvious big step forward visually, and in some ways one could argue that it's actually a step backwards due to it lacking certain graphical features that were previously available. You see, surprisingly, despite it being available in the previous two games, ray tracing does not make an appearance in Vanguard. I'm sure that's going to disappoint at least some small section of the community, however, personally I think that it makes quite a lot of sense. Don't get me wrong, having the option to toggle the feature and giving players the choice would have been ideal, it's just, I believe that the highly linear and tightly crafted nature of the campaign allows the developers to match or even surpass the potential ray trace presentation using much older, much more efficient techniques without losing much of that visual flair. What I mean by this is that since the developers only have a certain amount of performance headroom to play with when it comes to crafting what we actually see, it makes sense that they use said headroom to craft what we actually see, and I think in that regard the developers have done a bang up job. The increased destruction, more detailed weather effects, and most importantly the higher frame rate, in my opinion, are a great trade-off when weighed up against more accurate shadows, especially when you take into consideration that ray trace shadows still have a bunch of limitations that we are yet to overcome, such as ghosting, noise, and transparency to name a few. If anything, the best thing about Call of Duty Vanguard is that it feels like it has got to be one of, if not the most optimized Call of Duty launches that we have seen in recent years, and potentially ever. What impressed me the most was the stability of the engine and the overall performance. I'm not exaggerating when I say that Call of Duty Vanguard has got to be one of the cleanest feeling AAA games that I've played in a very long time. Not only was the game often pumping out a very decent frame rate, it was also incredibly stable to the point where I can't actually recall a single noticeable stutter in the 4 or 5 hours that I spent playing through the campaign. I was also pleasantly surprised to see that the smoothness during gameplay also carried over to the pre-rendered cutscenes, which for years have suffered from some pretty heavy stuttering. As a side, I think it's also worth mentioning that I played the game using AMD FreeSync on a 144Hz monitor, and the game worked flawlessly. There was no flickering, very low input latency, and no obvious stuttering when entering and leaving the variable refresh rate ranges. All in all, from a technical perspective, I have to say that I found the game to be pretty awesome in terms of its PC version, and I hope to God that we do see this trend continue when it comes to future releases. Unfortunately, however, I have to admit that the World War II setting does somewhat dampen any wow factor that the game could have had due to its heavily limited colour palette of greys, greens and browns that portrayals of the era are known for, especially when combined with the thick cloudy atmosphere of kicked up dust and smoke that fill most of the game's environments. Whilst technically impressive, heavy use of volumetric effects can and often do mute a lot of the contrast that many gamers do tend to find visually pleasing. In conclusion, I believe that Call of Duty Vanguard is a fine looking game that excels in terms of its performance, and whilst not a huge step forward in terms of its visuals, is a defining leap forward when it comes down to its engine stability and optimization. Whilst the Call of Duty single player campaigns aren't for everybody, I do believe that in terms of overall game feel, you'll be hard pressed to find a straightforward linear first person shooter that looks and feels this good releasing anytime soon. Honestly, I'm impressed. But anyway, that was just me checking out Call of Duty Vanguard single player campaign, maxed out at a 1440p resolution on our Sapphire Nitro Plus RX 6800 XT graphics card alongside the AMD Ryzen 7 5800X CPU. If you are new around here, please do consider slapping that subscribe button so you'll be notified about future uploads. If you like this video, then please do remember to leave us a like, and if you've got any questions, suggestions or feedback, you can leave them down in the comment section down below and I will try and get back to you. For now though, from myself and everybody here at the Sapphire Tech YouTube channel, thank you so much for stopping by and watching, and until next time, we'll catch you later. Bye bye.